What's happening, YouTube? Dylan here. Just wanted to delay a message to y'all real quick, coming from a loving place, of course. And that is, man, ladies, get off birth control. Fellas, if your lady or a lady friend you're messing with is on this shit, get her off it, man. Now I know some ladies need it for medical reasons, and I get that. Okay, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to interfere with that because I've had a chick that had that. She had medical issues and she needed it. So, but if that's not the case, man, if you're just on birth control just because you don't want to have a baby, and even worse, I know some people that are on birth control or women are on birth control because they want to let their man bust off inside of them. That is the most childish reason to have birth control. All right. Listen, I've met chicks that did it. I've had chicks consider getting birth control just so I could let her, I can come inside them. Guys, come on. You know, it's I've ran into a few chicks. From experience, man, I remember dating a chick, man, early on, my high school sweetheart. We were dating 2.5 years. And I remember towards the end, man, she was considering getting birth control. And, I'm young in high school, 19, 20, fresh out of high school, all we want to do is have sex. And we imagine, oh, man, I can't wait to come inside her one day. That's like a fantasy. And it's funny, man, like she had never had birth control for the 2 years I dated her. But like I said, towards the end, it came up and she thought about it. And I remember when she first got on birth control, right? The very first time, we had been kind of like long distance a little bit. So when she finally got on birth control, I hadn't seen her for a while. But eventually I saw her while she was on birth control. So this was the first time I was going to be seeing her on birth control. And I remember when I met up with her, I remember just kissing her. And I remember kissing like, regular make-out kiss, tongue action. And I remember her, specifically, her saliva tasted different. Now, that sounds weird, but I just knew her saliva was not the same. Now, that was the first red flag. I was like, oh, that's weird. It was almost to the point where I wasn't even like as attracted to her just off of that. It was like, looking back, hindsight's 2020. Looking back, I was like, I think that her hormones were being altered, which I'm pretty sure, almost 100% sure that's what it was. Hormones just fill up our bodies and do what they need to do to operate shit, make sure our organs are working, our glands are pumping out correct shit, So I remember like, yo, I didn't like that, right? Not to mention her personality was a little bit changed also. Like she was a little bit different. She was a little moodier, a little more bipolar-ish. Not fully bipolar, but just a little more snappy, less tolerant of me. But yeah, that was one thing that caught my attention very early on. I was like, I don't know about that birth control shit. I think eventually she got off it, whatever. We broke up, whatever. So, and that's just one example, but there's this other chick now. There's another example. I've had a few examples of chicks that I messed with on birth control. And even one recently, I just got her off it. I met her on birth control, right? But let me get to this chick this second chick that I messed with. She was for medical reasons, she was on birth control. It was one of those situations where she would get like ovarian cysts, if I'm not mistaken, which was kind of like painful for her. So the doctor kind of recommended that to her, which I'm even a little questionable about. I don't know how accurate that is or how necessary it is, but I'm not here to question doctors, whatever. So she, I met her and she was already on birth control. She had been on birth control for God knows how long. It had to be maybe years. Um, this was back in like 2016, 2017, so a couple years ago. And I remember telling me about it. I'm like, okay, I didn't really think much of it. But this chick, man, this chick was, let me just say, she put me through hell, man. She was one of these chicks that would say one thing, but act the other, you know? And I'm sure we've all run across chicks like this, but it was to the point where it was just damn near, it would drive me crazy. Because she was hot. She was hot, but she wasn't hot enough to deal with that shit. But I still tolerated it. And I'm not here to judge a chick on her looks here or there. That's besides the point. But I remember she would just make these dumbass decisions and then expect me to understand. And she just would just do shit to piss me off. And it was weird. Like we'd be cool 1 minute. And then like the next minute, I would just do one little thing, one thing that wasn't even major. I would just I probably wouldn't respond fast enough, for example. And the bitch would just lose her shit. Like, I'm done. I'm done with this. Every other day, I didn't know if I was on eggshells with this chick. I didn't know if, damn, I gotta be mindful of what I say to her because she might get turned off. Fuck. I was constantly just scared that this bitch was gonna run off because I said a word too loud or something. This bitch was crazy. And I dated her for like a good 5-6 months. On and off, she would the next month she'd leave, and then I was just like, all right, I'm done. Towards the end, I was like, I'm done. And then a week later, she called me back and like, oh, fuck, you know how us dudes do. We miss pussy. Pussy is pussy, right? At the time, to me, that's what it was, right? And yeah, man, she was one of the worst chicks I ever dated, man. She was just on the shit heavy. And that was a huge learning lesson. She's just super, I couldn't predict anything. She was just, women are already unpredictable as it is, without birth control, as is, plenty unpredictable. But to add that on top is a fucking nightmare, guys. So, I mean, that's just something to consider. This chick I'm dating recently, I actually just got her off of it. And it's funny, man. She just got off it after years of this shit, like over 5 years of this shit. And she's telling me all these side effects, like she gained a lot of weight. She's working out. She can't even work out to her max potential. Her bones feel brittle. Just a bunch. I don't even know the negative side effects. I'm just going off what she told me, right? Soon as I told her to because I recommended her to get off this shit, because just based on past experiences, like what I'm telling you guys. And soon as she gets off this shit, she's getting like migraines and shit. She's waking up with severe migraines, and I'm getting scared. I'm like, fuck, I shouldn't have told her to get off it. Maybe there's a way to ease off it, but I'm just looking out for her, man, and it's looking like she's feeling better, and it's just sad. It's sad that we do this, like this fucking birth control shit is not natural. You're fucking with your hormones, ladies. Fellas, get your ladies off this shit. It's stupid. If you don't want to have a baby, man, wrap your shit up, man. Grow up. Come on, guys. If you have to, if you want to go raw, pull out. Just pull out. Come on, man. It's all right, man. Listen, every time I pull out, I don't get no chick pregnant. As long as you pull out, if you gonna bust. Now, I'm on semen retention, so I ain't got to worry about that. If you on semen retention, you ain't got to worry about that. That ain't no problem. But, man, that's it, man. I'm just leave y'all with that. Leave a like if you fuck with it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought, man. Let me know your thoughts on this shit for real. This is an epidemic right now, so Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to talk to y'all next time, man. Peace.